Hey, welcome to Chicago. I'm Devin Kirk, Vice President of Merchandising for Jayson Home. Come on in and I'll show you my apartment and some of the shoppable products inside. One of the best things about this apartment is this gallery entryway. It's kind of like a bonus space for us since we're in the city and space is hard to come by. So this becomes a playroom for our 5-year-old, or we can clear out the furniture easily and have a dinner party in here with 16 or 18 people pretty easily. I wanted to keep it really neutral since it's kind of the hub of our home. And one of the ways I did that was by incorporating texture. So one of my favorite pieces from Jayson Home is this Jory side table. It's made of wicker and has this kind of trompe-l'oeil effect on the base. The Harlan bench from Jayson Home is another piece where I use this Italian wool fabric on top. It's got an oak base. So everything's kind of creamy and wood tone and neutral, but it all kind of works and adds layers of texture. In here we have a great vintage space. There's lots of original moldings, but otherwise it's kind of just a white box. So one of the things I did first was add this pendant from Jayson Home. It's the Tureen pendant, and it's not unusual to see these made out of paper, but what makes this one really special is that it's handmade in Bali using linen. So it has this kind of ethereal quality. It almost feels like sculpture in the space, and I think brings something unexpected here. So in the main seating area here, a lot of people are surprised to find out that I have a 5-year-old and a white sofa, but this whole thing is slip covered, so it goes right in the washing machine and comes out looking good as new. And another thing is this teak root coffee table, which also is super durable. It's really indestructible, kind of soft edges and very easy to live with. These chairs I got as kind of a placeholder. They were from IKEA, they were $99 each. I added these pillows from Jayson Home. I'd gotten them originally for our bed. They ended up in our son's room as floor cushions, and then I tried them one day. They fit perfectly here. I think they kind of elevate the chairs, and they're way more comfortable now, which is great. And then we wanted to have another way to enjoy this space when we weren't entertaining. So we added this table, which is a place where my husband and I can play cards or have dinner, and it's a great kind of extra space. Over here is one of my very favorite places in the house. I wanted a kind of dedicated record area, but since there's so much stuff going on the other side of the fireplace, I wanted to keep this a little bit more minimal. So this is what I call the family hall. It's right next to the gallery, but it was kind of a dark and boring hallway in comparison. So I came up with the idea to give it its own identity with this one-of-a-kind wall treatment. And then another thing that I really love here is the portrait of my son. My husband gave this to me for my 40th birthday, and it's probably what I would grab if the building was on fire. So this is Harry's room. Kids' room should feel like they're part of the home that they're in. So there's all the things that he loves, but there's also real furniture, our grandparents' lamp, an antique French chair that used to be in our living room. Over here, this is bedding from Jayson Home that isn't kids bedding, but I think it looks great in the space and is something that will grow with him, or maybe I'll even borrow it. So this is our bedroom. And the first thing I did was paint the walls this pink from Farrow and Ball. Our old bedroom was dark gray. It was like a cave, and I wanted to do the opposite in here. So I started with that, but balanced it out with kind of more masculine elements like the gray headboard. And for the top of the bed, I love using these vintage Suzanis right now for bedding. It just adds a great layer of something really interesting. And then up here is the cousin to the light that's in the living room. This is the Marin pendant from Jayson Home. And again, just kind of feels like sculpture in the space. But my favorite thing about this bedroom is having this Jayson Home Gretchen sofa. I think when you have a chair in your bedroom, it just ends up with clothes on top of it, but having a sofa here gives me a space to talk on the phone or read a magazine, or for us as a family to kind of gather on Saturday mornings and get ready for our day. So this is our family room. It's where we spend most of our time. And this was the original dining room in the apartment, but I converted it to have kind of a TV area and this dining area here too. This is actually one of the first pieces I bought from Jayson Home, probably 16 or 17 years ago. Just goes to show when you buy something nice with great lines, you can live with it forever. And the butterflies here are special. I pick up one of these at Day Roll in Paris every time I go on a trip there, and bring one home and add to our collection. The sconces are something that I brought in to help take the space from day to evening. These kind of are a way to add like happy color during the day, but then make it a little bit more moodier, or even like a cinema at night. So this is kind of our hangout spot here. But there's one more place I want to show you. So this is one of my favorite parts in the apartment. This is actually by the back door here. This was a pantry, kind of broom closet, but what we really needed was a bar. So I converted it here, and I just upholstered the back of it myself. I had my dry cleaner make the little curtain below, and it's a great self-service bar when we're entertaining. Thanks so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Come back soon.